The official name is Federal Governmental Institution Penal Colony 6 Federal Penitentiary Service of Russia in Orenburg region, but is commonly referred to as the Black Dolphin. This is one of the most secure prisons in the world and only houses the worst of offenders. Every inmate is in for life. Even though the prison only holds 700 inmates, there are over 3,000 murder convictions between them, in addition to charges of rape, robbery, pedophilia and even cannibalism. What makes the prison so intense is the absolute overkill security in place at all times. When a prisoner first arrives, they are blindfolded right away in order to keep them from learning the layout of the facility. Every time they leave their cells, they are blindfolded, handcuffed, and held in a stress position so that guards have complete control over them at all times. They are also escorted by at least 3 guards and 1 with a guard dog. For a prison with 700 inmates, there are over 900 employed correctional officers. It doesn't stop there. The inmates are monitored at all times in their double cells. Each cell has 2 locked doors. A prison cell within a prison cell. Prisoners are not permitted to rest or sit on their bunks from the time they are wake up until it is time to sleep again. The only food they are fed are soup and bread. One guard is quoted as saying, "Black Dolphin is a final destination. You can't go any further." Yes, technically there is a way to leave this place, but only one way: the cemetery. Camp 22, or Horyong Concentration Camp, is a penal labor colony in the secret of country North Korea. The camp gained exposure in 2012 after the warden defected to China. The prison was built for political prisoners and has been operational since 1965. It held up to 50,000 inmates, which could used for hard labor, extreme torture, and human experimentation. The camp is located in a very isolated area which is not included in any maps. The prison is known to house inmates of the 3 generations law. This law dictates that certain crimes must be punished by not only imprisoning the offender, but also 3 generations of their family. The theory being that the problem must be completely wiped out. This law encompasses many political crimes, such as expressing anti-government feelings. One ex-guard described the prisoners as walking skeletons, dwarfs, and cripples in rags. The inmates are fed only 180 grams of corn twice a day and nothing else. The prisoners work over 15 hours a day on farms, in mines, and in factories. New Year's is the only day off they get a year. In 2012, all inmates were transferred in the facility shutdown. Unsurprisingly, the North Korean government denies it ever existed. It's doubtful their new holding facilities are any better. Honduras has the world's highest murder rate at 82.1 per 100,000 of population in 2010. The country is plagued by violent crime, which has led to a large prison population. Even though the country only has a population of about 7 million people, they have over 12,000 prisoners. The problem is that their prisons only have room for 8,000. This means that there is more than 40% overcrowding. If overcrowd wasn't enough of a problem, there is such an issue with gang-related violence that they have had to completely segregate parts of their prison system between Malras active gang members, Pesetas former gang members, and Pesas those who have never been in a gang before their incarceration. This problem came to a head in 2012 when a massive fire broke out and ended in the death of over 350 prisoners, almost half of the inmates at the prison. Several inmates jumped over the walls to escape the flames and were shot by the prison guards. 100 inmates were left to die in their cells because the guard could not find the right key. Inside the burnt National Prison compound, between the gang violence and poor prison management, Honduras is never a country you'll want to find yourself behind bars in. Located the country's capital, Bangkok. This prison is far from the amazing hotels and nightclubs you'd first think of. The prison houses many death row inmates with permanently welded-on shackles who are put in tiny cells. They are only given a few hours' notice before execution. Prisoners are only given 1 meal a day consisting of a bowl of rice and vegetable soup. Any other food they want must be bought from the canteen. This means poor prisoners have to work for the prison in order to just barely feed themselves. The prison is also known to have many international inmates, including an English man named Michael Connell was serving a 99-year sentence for smuggling 3,400 ecstasy tablets. He was originally sentenced to death, but had it commuted. He has since been transferred to England to finish his time. Another British inmate in the 1980s, also for drug offences, said that I knew 22 people to be executed, and on one occasion 5 men from my prison block were killed, and one day 1 minute the person would be in the cell next to you and the next day would be dragged off to the firing squad. It was terrifying thinking that might happen to me. Originally built in 1984, the Ministry of Justice had become a martial law military prison after a coup d'état. It was handed back to the Ministry of Justice in 1988. The prison has an official capacity of 744 inmates but has been known to hold over 940 prisoners. The prison has the nickname held by its inmates. It was very common for prisoners to endure torture as part of their stay at this facility, including mock execution, electric shocks, being stripped naked and hosed, extended solitary confinement, beatings, burned with cigarettes, sexual humiliation, and much more. One of the weirder requirements was that all inmates had to salute the captain's dog, a German shepherd named Joe. This dog was trained to attack the genitals of naked inmates. Following the military takeover in 1980, the number of deaths jumped up drastically as a result of the unsanitary conditions and torture in the prison. 299 people died while incarcerated. The prison has had several incidents which have resulted in many inmate deaths. There is no lack of people in Turkey who want the prison shut down completely. Some people would like it to be turned into a school. This is one option that has been heavily explored. Others would like to see it turned into a museum dedicated to human rights violations. Mehdi Zana, the former mayor of Diyarbakir, who spent 11 years in the prison, explains, when a new prisoner arrived at the prison, Captain Assad met him at the entrance and then turned to a guard and said, "Prepare him a bath. Then take him to the dormitory." This was a ritual, so almost 20 guards accompanied the prisoner. He received a good welcoming thrashing, and then he was dragged, unconscious, to the bath, a bathtub full of shit in which they left him for a few hours.